Hey guys, Steve G-Man here and welcome to another video. This is going to be a how to get started on a solo adventure in Rust. There's going to be some advanced tips in this as well as some basic stuff. So if you're new to Rust, this is going to be a very good informational video for you. If you, however, have played Rust for quite some time, there might be a few little bits and pieces in here that you may not have known before. So right, getting started. You're going to start at some spawn points in the world of Rust. So first thing you want to do is sort of look at the location of where you're at, and then you can kind of work out where you want to go. So if you press G on your keyboard, this will open up the map, and there you can see around where you are. If you press the right button on your mouse, you can scroll in and out with the mouse wheel. That will zoom in and out of the map. So if it's quite zoomed in, so that's the reticle there, you can zoom out. You can also press the right key on the mouse and then you can drag around the map to find out what these monuments are. So these are called monuments. These are places of interest. Basically, there's going to be loot there. So you kind of want to be near one in order to have quick runs to loot. And these little areas here is the road. Along the road is going to be spawn points for other bits of loot that's not so good as the monuments, but it will help you get started. Where I'm at currently is a very good area. Abandoned supermarket's quite a nice area. There's going to be food there. You've got the road that's going to have good loot, as well as that there's always a recycler, which I'll get more into later, at most monuments, and there is one there. So it's going to be a good place around this area to start. So let go of G and then you come out of the map. That over there is a chopper. You do not want to be near that. That's going to start firing and trying to kill you. You can take them down later on when you've got guns, and that drops real good loot, but for now we're going to stay well out of its path. So that's basically the first thing you want to do. Is as soon as you spawn, look where you're going to go, find the best place to be, and then that's when you can start working and getting your base down. If you're unhappy where you're at and you feel like you're massively out of the way and you don't want to be there, all you got to do is press F1 and it opens up the console, type the word kill and then press enter. That's going to then kill you instantly, and then you can respawn somewhere else. There is a bit of a timer on that, so you can't spam it, but at least you get a couple of chances to move around the map if you need to. So first thing you want to do, pull your rock out and grab wood. You do get these little X's pop up, which kind of give you like crit hits on the trees. Gives you more resources. So be sure to just, as you're going around, just try and hit them as best as you can. There we go. Got that tree down. Got about 376 wood. You roughly get about the same per tree. And so you probably want to knock just about 1 or 2 down to give you some wood quickly in the game. Okay, so when you're going around, it's always good in the beginning to sort of find out where you want to go. So I'm going to try and head to the road and head to the supermarket. So it's always good to have a little look around. If there's anything that you need to pick up, go for it. These are mushrooms, very good early game because you can press them and eat them, and it's going to hydrate you and also give you some food. You want to keep these bars topped up because if these go to 0, it's going to start killing you, and that's not good because you will respawn somewhere random. And if you're happy with the location, you want to stay alive. So this is the road, which is what I was telling you about earlier, and as you can see there's like these crates here. So there's crates here for tools. Oh, that's good. That's a hatchet and scrap metal. These are all stuff that you're going to need for later on. With the hatchet, I can use it to open the barrel. You can use your rock, it just takes longer to break. And then in here is going to be loads of different resources and items that you're going to need later on for crafting, or if you want, we can recycle them in the recycler, which I'll show you when I get to them. So, yeah. So you also have these crates up here as well, which are wooden crates. Open them up. Oh my god, that's a satchel charge. That right there is something you need for end game when you get a good base and you start getting into raiding. That is like very rare to get one from that. Wow. Cool. So we're heading the wrong direction. So I want to head to the supermarket. So we're going the wrong way down to the road. So I'm going to head over here to the supermarket. While you're on your way, make sure you pick up like stuff like ore. Also hemp is another thing that you want to be picking up, which is these here. This is basically like cloth in the game. And this is going to help you craft things like bandages. This is quick craft here. So you craft some bandages, it'll get your health up. But you can also like craft things like a shirt if you wanted to. So the reason why I wanted to get to a supermarket quite quickly is because there is food in here, which is these crates here, which is good to see. So with food, just press it, eat it. Rad pills you'd want to keep for later on. So the reason why the supermarket's good is there's also crates. This is a blueprint, so you just press it, learn blueprint. Now you'll be able to craft that in your crafting menu. So it's there, new, you can craft it. So at the back of supermarket, there is a recycler. This is something that you're going to find at most monuments. If you open it up, oh, wow, someone must have died when they were in here. That's a lot of stuff. So basically what you can do with the recycler is random stuff that you don't want, you can break down to its raw form. For instance, metal blades, springs, maybe this spinner here. We can switch it on and it's going to give you raw essentials. So it's going to give me some metal, give me some scrap. So we're going to need to get metal fragments as soon as possible, because with that we're going to be able to make a metal door and a metal lock, which is something that we're going to need to make straight away in order to make sure our base is secure. So we've got some metal, we've got a little bit of wood here. We're going to need some more wood, so I'm going to hatch it out and grab some more wood. You can also mine wooden logs and tree branches on the floor. These give you a lot more wood than the tree, but when the tree gets knocked down, you get a big chunk of wood come towards you, so they kind of work out roughly the same. So you want to make sure that you're picking up these nodes as well, which is like stone here. You get sulfur and metal. So get wood like this. These are just like quick drops. You can just press E over and then you'll get them. So when you get enough wood and you've got enough stone, if you press common, you've got things like the stone hatchet. I was lucky enough to get a hatchet earlier, so I don't need to craft one right now. I do need to craft a stone pickaxe. So with the stone pickaxe, you'll be able to mine the nodes for things like metal and stones. And I just see over here, this is a stone node. This is something that you're going to need to get. Right, you want to stay out of the way of that bad boy over there. Okay, he's gone. Okay, so I've got my stone pick. Again, same as the trees, if you hit the little sparkle, it's going to give you extra stones, and it also just basically knocks it down quicker for you. There we go, cool. So I've got 845 stones, which is quite a lot. So once you're happy with the sort of resources that you've got, now it's a good time to start building a base. First thing you want to do is make a sheet of paper. To craft that takes a little bit of your wood. Then once you've done that, you're going to want to make yourself the hammer, and you're also going to want to make yourself the building plans. Chart there, building plans. Craft that. Make sure you're watching your hydration and food down there if you need to eat some bits. Make sure you have a little munch. Okay, now I've got the building plans, I'll be able to start building my base. So if you right click on the mouse, you get this wheel come up here, which is like your options. So you've got your foundations, your floor, your walls and your doorways. These are the main ones most people use. You can get a lot more advanced with your building with the other ones, but for now we're just going to build a basic 1 by 1, just somewhere that we can start storing some bits and pieces. So foundation's what we need, so we're going to build that. So we'll put that there, and then the walls, and then we're going to want to make a doorway. And then I normally put a floor as my roof, because in case you want to build up, you're going to need it to be a floor. So most people generally do that. Now the reason why we crafted a hammer is because the hammer allows you to upgrade. If you have just these as your walls, it's like got 10 health, which is the 10 by 10 bit there. That means 10 health. You can knock through that with just a hatchet or a stone and break into it. So that's not going to be very safe. So if you right click it with the hammer, you can either upgrade it to wood or upgrade it to stone. We're going to do a mixture of both so you can see what it's like. So if I upgrade it to stone, make sure you get out there and mine as much stone as you can when you're building your base. So upgrade it to stone, upgrade it to stone, upgrade it to stone, and I might just run out. No, I've got just enough. Perfect. So now I've got myself a stone base. This is perfect. If you can make it stone straight away, that's exactly what you want to do. And if you can put a metal door on it straight away, that's a really good start. So I've actually got enough metal to make a metal door and a code lock. So you need 250 metal fragments. So we was lucky that we found some in the recycler. That's why it's good to go to supermarket as soon as possible when you spawn, because you can get yourself some metal fragments very fast, because you can pick up just random bits from the road, recycle it, get them metal fragments, and then you're going to be well away to getting your base up and running as soon as possible. So because we've got enough metal fragments, let's go and make our metal door first things first. So craft the metal code lock and also craft the metal door. We're also going to want to store our bits and pieces, so we're going to want to make ourselves a little wooden storage box. However, the main thing also that you want to do in your base is create a tool cupboard, because this tool cupboard is going to put a radius around your base and will prevent anyone from building upon it. So by putting one of these down, it's going to keep your area safe. That is a very important part to your base, even in a 1 by 1. So we're going to craft one of those. So with your base, To make it safe, first thing you're going to need is to have a metal door and a code lock. That is the most important part. It's going to make it quite hard for people to get into because the metal door's got a lot more health than the wooden door. You can craft a wooden door and put a code lock on it. However, that can be broken down quite easily compared to the metal door. You can also put on a key lock if you want. Now, the thing is with a key lock, you have to have a key. And if you die and the key is obviously on you to open your door, then that person that's killed you can get the key, go in your base and loot. If you've got a code lock, there's going to be no key because it's a code, so it's going to be a lot more safer for you. So this is the better way of doing it first off, and just do it the right way. So now my metal door is done and I've got my code lock. I'm going to want to put that on. You want to make sure that the door handle is to the right hand side of you so it opens inwards. It's just the way I prefer to do things, so make sure it's on the right hand side, and then you just press the left mouse and it will place it. Get your key lock in your hand and then again left mouse click and it places it. When you see it's got a green light, that means there's no code inputted, which means it's doing nothing. So you want to press E over it, change lock code, press that, type in a 4-digit code that you want to use, and then it's armed, which means no one can get in there unless they know your code. So make sure you pick something good, and once you've entered it once, you can just press E and it'll open and close for you. So now we're safe. Once that's down with that code lock and you're in a stone base and it's a 1x1, you're in a fairly safe position now, which is pretty cool. So what we want to do is we want to make ourselves a sleeping bag, 100 wood and 30 cloth. So we've been picking up the hemp as we've been going, so we've got cloth on us, so make sure you're doing that. Now we can craft a sleeping bag. This is going to allow us to set a spawn point. If you die and you're gathering, it sucks, but at least you come back into this base. Otherwise you're going to go somewhere completely random on the map, and unless you've taken note of your letter and number and you know where you are on that grid, if you forgot or you didn't write it down, you're never going to find your base because the maps are huge. You want to place down your tool cupboard first. That's like the most important thing. Place that down. You can kind of like move it around and it kind of gets stuck in the corner, which is where you're going to want it because it's maximum in that corner. You want to press E to authorize it, which now means that we have ownership over this area. And it says here, in order to stop deterioration, we're going to need 15 metal fragments, 30 wood and 156 stone in there for a 24-hour upkeep of this base, which is fine. We've got wood. You can also use it as a large storage box, to be honest, because you can put a lot of your ores in here, so it just sort of just keeps all your storage tidy. So we can put all our metal in here. We're going to put our little storage box down, so now we can store all our scrap in here. We don't need to build at the moment, so we can put our wooden hammer in there. Obviously you want to keep the saddle charge in there because you would not want to lose that. We crafted a shirt earlier when I was talking, so I might as well put that on. Now our sleeping bag is here. So we want to place the sleeping bag down, and you can rename it if you want. So you can put starter house if you want. So when you die, you can know where you're going to spawn to. You can place down quite a few sleeping bags and rename them, so you've got multiple spawn points, which is handy if you build another base somewhere else or you want to set a spawn point near a certain location. Just type in and rename that bag. That way you know what spawn you're going to be going to, and then you'll just wake up on your sleeping bag. This is basically the best way of doing it. So if you did spawn somewhere and you was nowhere near the supermarket or any monument where there was a recycler, so if you have to farm and get the metal fragments from nodes, that's not a problem. You can do that. It just takes a little while, because what you'll have to do is you'll have to craft yourself a furnace, which is here, and in order to craft that, you're going to need 50 low grade fuel, which then means you're going to need to craft low grade fuel, and the low grade fuel is going to be animal fat and cloth. Animal fat is something that you can get from a killed animal, or if you see a sleeper on the floor, which is a player that's been logged off and they're on the ground, or a dead player, you can use a hatchet and you can hit them with that, and then it will give you animal fat. And then with the animal fat you can make the low grade fuel, and then with the low grade fuel you can use that with the other components to craft yourself a furnace. Then with the furnace you can then add the wood and then add the metal ore, and then with the metal ore it will then go to metal fragments, and then that is what you will need to craft yourself the door and the lock. But the quickest option, as you've just seen, is just to get to a monument and get to a recycler. So yeah, that's pretty much the first sort of things that you want to do as soon as you spawn into a server brand new, is find out where you are, see if you are near a monument, kind of go near one so you haven't got a long run to it. Try and get to a road to get resources like what we did. That plane going over now is actually called an airdrop, so eventually when you hear that you will see the plane emerge from the clouds, and then it will drop a package at some point and you can run to it, and then there's going to be really good loot in it. However, everyone in the server is going to run to that. That's when you're going to get a lot of PvP action, just like that. There you go, that's an airdrop right there. It's literally landed right on top of me. What is the chances of that? Okay, so I'll let that drop down and I'll show you what that's like inside. So a quick little recap. As soon as you spawn into Rust, you're going to want to find out where you are. If you're not near a monument or you're unhappy, you can kill yourself and then you can go to a different spawn point. Get yourself to a location and to a road. Run along the road and open up boxes for early loot. For me, I've got a hatchet. It's going to give you some early tools if need be. If not, hit a tree, get wood and get some stone and then craft a hatchet and a stone pick if need be. When you get to the monument, try and recycle all the bits and bobs that you've picked up along the way. That will give you some metal fragments. Use that to make your code door and lock. Get yourself some stone. Craft yourself a stone 1 by 1 like I just did with that. That's going to give you a nice base that's going to be quite hard for a lot of people to get into in the beginning anyway. And then set yourself a sleeping bag down. Now if I die anywhere out here, I will respawn back in here and then I'm going to be where all my belongings are. Then close it up, go out there, make sure you've not got everything on you. Try and store as much as you can in your base. That way if someone kills you when you're out and about, you're not going to lose all of your stuff. Because there's going to be quite a lot of PvP going on, if depending on the population of the server, you are going to need to be a bit tooled up. So some of the starter weapons that you can use in the game is things like the spear and the bow and arrow. So you want to get yourself some wood. You can craft up some basic tools of weapons, just like the spear. Spear's a good one because you can poke people with it and it hurts them. As long as you've got cloth, which is 50 cloth, you can create yourself a bow and arrow and then also make yourself some arrows with that. And that's going to be your main range weapon. This will be your main melee weapon for when you first start out. Shooting with the bow can be hard in the beginning, but you do kind of get used to it the more you use it. But to be honest with you, some people would say first things first to make weapons. Now if you're new to Rust and you're not great with using weapons, I would find that a waste of resources in the beginning. First things that you want to do is get ready to go and get that base down. So all the cloth that you get, that's going to be used for your sleeping bag. I did waste some on a shirt, but ideally you want enough to make a sleeping bag paramount. So that's 30 cloth and then get that base done. Then you can start going out and enjoying it. There was a airdrop coming down, so I'm going to go run to that and show you what that's like, and then that's pretty much going to be the video. Also, when you see animals out and about, what you want to do is you want to just kill them. So that chicken got pwned in one shot. Harvest it up, so you want to hit it with your hatchet. I got 2 chicken breasts from it and I got 12 bones. Chicken breasts I can cook up on a campfire and then that's going to give me some food. Make sure you're always picking up the easy collectibles as you're going because it just helps you out. I'm going to make my way over to that airdrop. So this is an airdrop. If you're lucky enough to get one of these without being killed, this is where you're going to find a lot of ammo, loot and good stuff. So in here is some wooden armor, 2 double-barrel shotguns, which is really good, buckshots, some rifle ammo, a very good turret, and some clothes. That's a very good airdrop. If you get a gun like this, then you're going to be very good at close range. Woo. The only reason why that was very easy to get to is because I'm on a server that's very low population in order to make this video for you guys, because it can be very difficult when making a base for the first time and a lot of people are always trying to kill you. So the thing is with Rust, it's kill or be killed and it's just trial and error. So if you do find that you keep dying a lot in the beginning, just keep persevering with it. You will get a breakthrough, and then once you can finally make yourself a base, that's when the game will start to snowball forward because you've got somewhere where you can store stuff and then you can start working your way forward. I would recommend going onto a server with probably anywhere above 30 players. Otherwise, if it's too easy, you're just not learning anything. So I would go onto a server that's got more than 30 players on it because you would get a better interaction with people. You can chat to people as well in game, which is pretty awesome. By just pressing V, you'll see a microphone pop up and then people will hear you in the vicinity when you're talking. So you get a lot of good social interactions when you're playing the game. So go with more than 30 players when you join a realm or join a server because you get a lot of player interaction, which makes this game really cool. So yeah, this is my little 1 by 1 here. Pretty happy with how this video turned out. It was quite easy and I got quite lucky with some of the stuff. This isn't how it would normally be for you, to be fair. You do struggle in the beginning. It can be quite hard, but if you follow what I've shown you, make a 1 by 1 out of stone. As soon as you've got this, you're going to then be able to progress further in the game quite fast because you'll be able to go out, mine some bits. Don't go crazy with your mining. Try and stick to about a few thousand stacks. So say like you've got 4,000 wood, take it back to your base, because if you get killed, then you're going to lose all that effort. So always run out, get a few thousand, come back, drop it off, go out a few thousand, drop it off, and then just start building out your base. So your next thing you want to do is probably put another 1 by 1 base in front with another door, and that's what they call an airlock, because what happens is you can go into that 1 by 1 like in here, and then you can close that door, then open the door to all your good stuff, and then go in and drop it all off. That way, if you go to your base and someone's following you, and then you open it and they kill you, then it's going to stop them from getting getting into where all your goodies are, because it's going to be still in front of a metal door. So that's why you have an airlock. So yeah, as soon as you get an airlock done, then you can start building out, and then start building out on your base and going higher with it, and yeah, enjoy. I hope this video helped you, and I hope there's a lot of information there for you. Please give me a like if you liked the video, and leave me a comment if you learned something new. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Take care.